Hello and welcome to the latest Lukozer retro game review video. And for this one it is Cannon Fodder 2 by Sensible Software. This came out in, I think it was either 93 or 94, and well, obviously it is the sequel to Cannon Fodder. Now sequels tend to, well they don't tend to, they always fall into one of three categories. The first category is a sequel that is actually better than its predecessor. They are unbelievably rare. The second category is much more common, which is the sequel is so shit that it both insults and ruins the reputation of the predecessor. This comes under the third category. Now I'm going to start the game because the music in this title page is actually worse than the music, the title music for the first Cannon Fodder. I didn't think that was possible. They proved me wrong. So now we have to wait for a hell of a long time for the game to actually load. Now this music, it says it wants disc 2. Disc 2 is already inserted, and so is disc 3, but I dare say at some point it asks for that as well. Now this music isn't too bad. There are a couple of pieces of music that are alright. This is one of them. I can't actually remember what the other is. But you may be starting to get an impression as to what the third category of sequel is and how this manages to be considered part of that category. This looks awfully similar to the first one. In fact, with the exception of a few changes in the scenery, including some futuristic buildings, including one that looks like a fucking knob, it's exactly the same. Yeah. Well, we'll get the game underway. So you start off with your first two recruits, and so you'll get the briefing page along with the loading music while you're at the briefing page when it eventually starts up. Now first of all, okay, you get this, and that looks awfully familiar. They've taken out the helicopter, but otherwise it's the same. Here we are at the briefing page. Well, that is the same as the first one, and indeed so is the music. The only difference, in fact, is that the missions take something like 3 times longer to load. So you're actually sitting here waiting for what seems like a fucking age. But I mean, there is absolutely, well, not only, you know, does it look the same, there is no attempt to hide the fact that it's the same as the first one. So you see what I mean about how long it fucking takes. It is still loading. You know, I'm not just sitting here just to, you know, make the point. It's finally stopped loading, so it will now appear. Here we go. Here we are. Right. It is identical. Where's the new features? The new features are the new graphics. And that is it. So what Sensible Software have essentially done is change the graphics a bit and say Right, this is a brand new game. This is the sequel, Cannon Fodder 2. That's 30 quid, please. Oh, they changed some of the music around as well. Well, they changed two pieces, the intro music and this. Well, even that's identical. And when I say the gameplay is identical, I mean identical. There is no difference at all. This is identical. I mean, alright, the scenery's been changed, but everything that happens, you know, oh look, these people who are running over towards us to join the, you know, recruits to join up. There has been no attempt whatsoever to actually design a new game. All they have done is change the scenery, well, they changed the sound effects a little bit, and that's it. Some of the in-game graphics have been tweaked a bit, but the actual characters that you control haven't. They look identical. And that's the story of the game. That's Cannon Fodder 2. We've changed a couple of pieces of music, we've changed the background graphics, we've tweaked the in-game graphics a touch, and tweaked the sound effects a touch. 30 quid, please. Are they serious? And this is the third category of sequel. A sequel that is so, you know, well, it is identical to the first one, has absolutely nothing new in it, that you feel it is a fucking con. How can they genuinely, how can they justify, you know, releasing this and actually saying, right, there you go, pay us for this? Because the only people who are going to buy this are people who were such fans of the first game that you know, they would go ahead and buy a sequel. If you weren't a fan of the first game, you're not going to buy the sequel to it. So people who bought this liked the first game, which makes sense. Except that now, having paid for this new version, they find that they are playing the exact same game that they were playing before. So I completely fucked that up, so I'll try again. I'll give it one more try, but to be honest, I just don't really feel like doing too much, and we've got to wait for the level to fucking load again. This music is the same as it is in the first one, so here we go. Alright, so I'll go and grab the grenades. Might as well grab both boxes. And then you have to launch the grenades and get it to kill everyone in who is hanging around in here. But you have to try and get away from the explosion before before it catches you like that. But yeah, try again, but I just have no wish to. They are taking the piss big time with this. The only people who would buy this were people who were huge fans of the first game, but you cannot seriously tell me that if you are a fan of the first game that you would be happy with shelling out another 30 quid only to find that the supposed sequel is absolutely identical to the first game. There is nothing new in it whatsoever. That is just taking the piss. So for that reason I score this game 0, because that's the amount of effort that Sensible Software clearly put into this. And I can't believe they had the fucking nerve to release it, let alone actually have the nerve to say this is a sequel. Because this should have been a £2 fucking, you know, mod or something like that. You can probably get public domain mods for this game which did exactly the same thing to the first Cannon Fodder, and that meant that this release was totally superfluous. I mean, it is totally superfluous anyway. So there you go, that's Cannon Fodder 2, 0 out of 10. What a fucking piss take. That brings this video to an end, and we will see you at the next one.